Today we're going to talk about ancient India. Today I will explore the characteristics of ancient India so that I can locate India on a map and explain the social, political, and economic development of India. I will know I have it when I can locate India on a map and identify the characteristics of India. Ancient India is located in where modern-day India is, which is a very distinguishable country in Asia, kind of noticed here by the large peninsula jutting out into the Indian Ocean. The very first civilization to form in India was the Indus River Valley. Make sure that you add the Indus River Valley to your map. The Indus River Valley was India's very first civilization about 2500 BC that developed along the Indus River. There was two major cities that formed the Indus River Valley, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. The Indus River Valley was a highly organized system. We know that they have a very centralized and organized government because they had a lot of public works, such as streets that ran in a grid pattern, as you can tell in the picture of Mohenjo-daro on the right, and other public works programs like waste and water wells that served its citizens. At the center of every civilization was a citadel. This was a large fortress that enclosed things that the people would need, like the granary that held their grains and wheats and food, other warehouses, and meeting halls. Houses for the citizens were built outside of the citadel. The Indus River Valley used a writing system called Sanskrit to keep records of their life. Sometime after 2000 BC, a new people called the Aryans, which meant noble, ruled over much of India. They invaded from the northeast over the mountain range, the Kush mountain range. Much of what we know about the Aryans comes from their records that they kept called the Vedas. These were a sacred writing that included a lot of details about Aryan history and society. For example, the caste system details were included in the Vedas. Make sure you add the Aryan invasion to your map. According to the Vedas, people settled in villages that were a lot smaller than cities of the Indus Valley. These groups of villages were all banded together under rajas, government-appointed regional leaders that were responsible for keeping the people in that area safe from attack. This was a form of bureaucracy or a way for the government to organize different people and officials together to keep centralized power. Vedic society was broken into four social classes called varnas that played a particular role in society. The Brahmin were at the tops. They held jobs such as priests and academics. Kshatriya were warriors and kings. Vaishyas were merchants and landowners. They kind of made up the middle class. Sudra were commoners, peasants, and servants. They would be the farmers and people who took care of society. And then at the very bottom were untouchables. These people were people that were out of the caste, street sweepers, or latrine cleaners. The varnas were broken up into hundreds of subsections called castes. Membership in a caste determined what job one could hold or who someone could marry. The caste system still is around in India today. However, it is much less prevalent than it was back in the ancient time period. There is no longer an official caste system recognized by the government like there was during the Vedic period. However, people in general have held on to that cultural tradition. The very first empire to unite much of India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan was the Mauryan. The Mauryan Empire was started by Asoka, also known as Ashoka. There's sometimes an H in that name. Asoka converted to Buddhism from Hinduism because he did not like the caste system. He thought that the caste system was stupid and that it created divisions in society. So when he converted to Buddhism, he started to encourage peace and religious tolerance throughout his empire. He was mainly responsible for spreading Buddhism to the rest of Asia through military conquest as well as tolerance for other people. He's also known for building lots of roads, hospitals, and veterinary clinics. Those roads were key in providing transportation between his empire and the places that he was conquering. The next empire we talk about is the Gupta Empire that was established by Chandragupta I. The Gupta Empire is known as the Golden Age of India because they had lots of different accomplishments during this time period, such as in Hindu Arabic numerals, cotton they used for textiles like creating clothing, math, that's what they used the numerals for. There was the value of 0. So before they used to tally everything, after Hindu Arabic numerals, they were then able to count above the letter 10, number 10, because they added that 0 in there. They also made strides in astronomy by studying the stars and literature. Make sure you add the Gupta Empire to your map. The major religion in India was Hinduism. Even though Buddhism became popular under Ashoka, Hinduism is still the majority religion in India to this day. The most basic belief in Hinduism is the belief in Brahman, or an eternal being that created and preserved the world. Hindus believe that there are many forms of Brahman and that all of the other gods in Hinduism are just a form of Brahman. Hindus believe that the universe and everyone in it are a part of a continual pattern of birth, death, and rebirth, meaning that they believe in reincarnation. They believe that when they are reincarnated, it is based off of their karma. So there is a direct relationship between your karma and what you're reincarnated as. For example, if you did lots of good deeds during your lifetime, then you may be reincarnated as a different caste above the one that you were in. If you did bad things, you may be reincarnated as a lower caste, or, which was the worst thing possible, a dog. Hindus also read about their religious teachings in 3 texts: the Vedas, the Upanishads, and other sacred stories, or called epics. The second largest religion in India is Buddhism. Buddhism can be traced back to the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, who is also referred to as Buddha. Buddha is a very cultural symbol of India, kind of represented like the picture on the right of a person that is sitting in some sort of robe. Usually Buddha is really fat. That's how most people, Westerners, see Buddha. Buddhists believe that people can reach nirvana, which is the highest point, by following the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. A Buddhist lifetime goal is to reach that nirvana, or that highest state of being. The Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path talk about how they can end suffering in their lifetime and do certain actions in order to get there. There is no real holy book of Buddhism. However, the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path could sometimes be considered their writing. At this point, you've finished the notes, so go ahead and complete your annotations, potential test questions, and the summary. There should be at least 3 potential test questions for this note set.